With Don Allen III Live. Today we're going to be jumping into some brand new hybrid animation workflows. I animated this. I'm going to talk to you about the process. We're going to be working on a new scene, a new shot, and I'll show you everything. I'm using an iPad, and it's the M4, and we're using an Apple Pencil, and we'll be animating today. So welcome to the live stream, and we'll talk to you about this whole process. This app is called Procreate Dreams. It's fantastic for doing hybrid animation workflows. When I say hybrid animation, I mean it's a mixture of AI and human handmade animation. That's what we're going to be doing tonight. I have another scene I need to animate, and I want to explore it. So welcome to the stream. It's going to be for a short animated film that I'm working on that has to do about a story of my own life that I will be sharing in an animated form. And in order to kind of make my concept and idea come to life, I'm going to be making artwork and animations that kind of help get the idea across from the short film that I want to make, the short animated film. And it will be using a hybrid workflow. So I want to show some of that hybrid animation process. Welcome to the stream. So how we're going to do this today is I have some new concept artwork that I want to show you how I will animate. And we're going to be doing that inside of the app Procreate Dreams. So it should be pretty cool. So first off, in Procreate Dreams, you have like this whole timeline down here, and you can move stuff. And these are all like different layers that you can animate on. And you can, use gestures to kind of punch in and kind of consolidate things. So this is all one group. And once something's in a group, you can like move it all as a group and animate it as a group. Hello, welcome, welcome. So what we're going to be working on tonight is... let's see, where is it? We're going to be working on this one, this drawing. And what I want to do is start the animation process of getting this like creature to emit from the arm. And we're going to be using a hybrid workflow to get this animated. Because in our previous live stream, I showed you how we animated this. We used some concept artwork initially from AI, and then we animate over it in parts. And it is traditional animation. You can actually jump into each of these frames and see the individual drawings, and we can go and edit those drawings. Those purple lines are previous frames and previous drawings, and it lets you see kind of like where things were. And we'll be using a little bit of a hybrid approach tonight. So welcome, welcome, welcome. So let's get started by breaking this down into some components. So I'm going to bring this into the app Procreate. So I'll go to import. I'll just go to the Procreate app. That's not it. There, cancel, plus sign. I'll go to photos, and then we're just going to import the recent artwork. Where is it? There we go. This one. Great. So I'm going to make a new layer on top of this. And on this new layer, we're going to talk about the components. So what do I mean by that? Well, one component's going to be, I'm going to use a different brush. Let's go to a nice little drawing brush. Studio pen. Okay, I'm just going to use green ink here. So one component would be like the head. Another component will be the arm. A third component will be all of this creature. And then I would, just for this one shot, I might just merge that as one component. So we really just have 1, 2, 3, 4 components to worry about, right? So let's work on those 4 components. I'm going to do a new layer, and I guess I'll just use this green color. And so I actually generated this artwork based off a photograph of me during the time that I was in the hospital. And then I had Sora turn that into an illustration. And then I used some of my imagination to kind of add to what the experience felt like. So it felt like my arm was turning into a new monster. So I didn't understand what it was becoming yet when I was still in the hospital all those years ago. And so it was really scary. And so that's part of the reason why the character here, it's like a little bit younger version of me, was really scared during the time when I was in the hospital. And so, Now, one thing I'm going to do to keep animation layers pretty easy is I'm going to think about things in motion. So I always try to think about hinges. So in green, I have kind of like one shape. I'm going to do a new layer here. The neck would be this shape. Now, it might look counterintuitive, and actually I'll just do it in a different color. The reason why I would want the neck to be this shape and creating this overlap is so that I'm able to animate the head separately from the neck, because I would want to be able to, have the character's head tilt up. So when you want a different part of a character to animate, you want to separate them in different layers, but you want to create enough overlap here in blue with this squiggly line so that we don't end up seeing like a cut off neck. Now you also see that it's snapping to 15-degree increments. We can turn that off by turning off snapping in the lower corner and switching off magnetics. Now we have a lot more freedom to rotate this. We can also move the anchor point of where it's rotating, but for now, I think this is totally fine. Okay, so keeping in mind that this is going to be one object, and then the blue is going to be another object, we're going to just draw those as separate layers. So I'm going to undo that intersection. And for now, keep things simple. I'm just going to fill this all with blue. And then for the head, I'm just going to fill this all with green. Oops, I'm going to use the same green by pulling that color from the edge, pulling it from the edge again, and dropping it right onto our canvas, and placing it over here in the ear. Looks like the ear was not fully disconnected. It looks like there was a little gap here. So I'm just going to close that off and then fill it up. Cool. Then let's grab the neck and let's move the neck underneath the head by dragging the layer underneath. All right, so now we have two layers. I wasn't planning on doing too much extensive animation, but since we're here already, I am going to make the neck kind of be part of the torso. So what I do is kind of color code each part and just kind of imagine a torso here. And since I'm in a hospital gown, I'll just kind of continue that character I'll just continue him on. Now, as for this arm, there's going to be some overlaps. For now, we're just going to draw this form here and draw this form there and then fill this in. Great. So that's kind of just filling in the body. We're going to hide that and make a new layer. I'll do a new color. And we're going to have this one just be the character's arm, my arm. Now with this, you also want to keep it overlapping with other geometry. So I might draw a little bit past the arm here, past the shoulder, just to give it flexibility to rotate once we get to the animation part of this. I think you're going to really I'm going to show you how we animate these layers separately in the app Procreate Dreams using a feature called performance mode. And performance mode is pretty incredible because it lets you puppeteer your drawings, and Procreate Dreams will record that motion, letting you make really cool stuff. Okay, so now let's go to a new layer. For this arm, I'm going to do something similar for this shot. So this arm will be all of this and maybe a little bit of that. Now this is a part of the film. This character, at least when this version of me comes out in the show, it's part of the evolution of the character. It was before I fully understood what my condition was when I was in the hospital. So there was a lot of uncertainty and confusion around what was happening. So it felt like a transformation was happening, but I didn't fully understand the transformation at the time. I'm going to put this arm behind the torso, but now we have the two arms and a torso, right? You kind of see how this is going. Let's continue on. The last one would be getting the this little character animated. So if that's like the body, I'll do one more layer here and grab that blue color. And this would be kind of representing the silhouette of this stage of the the drawing. But we'll be using a different type of animation style to get to that point. So we'll get to, we're going to do a style of animation that's called straight ahead animation. Straight ahead animation is when you go frame by frame. That's how I'm going to get this character to move into the way that I want. And that is all good for now, but we'll get there. And right now there's going to be overlaps. That's totally fine. This is just to kind of get us rough animation across. Okay, great. So let's turn on all these layers and turn off our background. And what are we left with? So we pretty much have kind of 4 main areas of animation. and that's good. And we can like turn these into, silhouettes. We could turn them into different colors. But for now, this is looking pretty good. So what we're going to do now is bring these layers into the app Procreate Dreams, and I'll show you how I would begin to start animating this to get some life and to get some performance. So keep in mind, we only have really, we should probably label stuff that might help. I might rename this one, this is like arm, and then I'll good night, love. And then I'll go and go to this one, torso. I'll go to this layer, rename it left arm. And then this one, rename it serpent. And then rename this layer head. Great. So it's just good to label some layers, just something in there will just make it easier for me to work. And now that is good to go, let's go ahead and start to make it cooler. So what I do is I usually split the screen and I open up the app Procreate Dreams as a separate app. So I have Procreate on one side and I have the Procreate Dreams app on the other side. And what's cool about this is you can just drag stuff across from the layers. So I'm going to go to a later moment in time, around 4 seconds into the animation. And then we're going to simply go to our layers panel and select a few layers, hold them, and drag them into the Procreate Dreams app and release. It then imports all 4 of these layers into the composition, and we'll go ahead and start working in Procreate Dreams. Okay, so it imported in, but it came out as, they all came out at different time, or they're all on the same track. So it's playing them one by one. Oh, we got a question from Johnson97, which says, can we do this on Microsoft Pro or only on iPad? Unfortunately, this app only runs on iPad, but it runs on old iPads too. So even if you get a used iPad, it would also work. And it would also work well. Yeah, this is one of my favorite 2D animation apps ever. And I use it all the time. We're having some issues. I just crashed it. Bad example, bad demo. There it is. Okay. What is this? Let me close Procreate Dreams and reopen it. Great. And then go to that project file. Okay, cool. We're back. So you can use 3 fingers up and down to kind of expand the tracks, and you can use 3 fingers sideways to kind of accordion stretch them to the sides. And yeah, and there's like a background layer. Okay, so what I was mentioning is, you see how all 4 of these are appearing at different times? Well, if you want them all to appear at the same time, they all have to be on different tracks. So I'm going to move this one up and move this one. Oops. I'm going to move this one up as well. You can even just use your fingers. Might be easier sometimes than using the pencil. And so I'm just kind of building out that character. There we go. Oh, I got my order of operations wrong. Let's get the head as the top layer. So I'm going to stretch it down further, move the head to the top. And then this arm, I move it, I think, below the torso, and this one goes in front of the torso. There we go. Great. So now we're back to kind of having our key components. We got a question from Ang or Anged. Danny says, is there any way to save the animation to images on iPad? I have a very hard time accessing the finished product. What do you mean? Is there a way to save the animation to images? Yeah. Yeah, there's an option when you go to export, you click on the project name, and then you can go to share. And when you go to share, they have an option. Oops, I just exported it. Cancel that. You can go back to the name. When you go to share, and there's an option here called frames as images. So this will save as JPEGs or PNGs, and then you can use them in another animation software like After Effects, or Character Animator or Premiere, or you can use it in 3D programs. So there's different settings here. And then you can export as a video or just the current frame, or you can export the Procreate Dreams file. So there's a lot of formats that are great. Okay, so I just mentioned that we're going to do performance to animate this. So what I'm going to first do is find the timing. If I hit the play button, I want this animation to be maybe a few seconds. So kind of like after this shot. So I'm going to, give it a beat. Maybe slide this over here in time. Slide this one over here in time. Bend this one. So they all kind of start at the right time. Great. Then what we're going to do, we're going to take these layers. I don't know what TYSM means. And I'm going to drag this to 8-second mark. And then grab this one, drag it to the 8-second mark. Same idea. And this is so that these stay on frame pretty much the whole time. The only one that I don't want to be in frame the whole time is this serpent creature, which I want to have it appear near the end. So I'm going to shorten its time. So that way, all of these happen and they stay put. And then that one appears. And what's cool in Procreate Dreams is it automatically knows to kind of cycle keyframes. Oh, it means thank you so much. Oh, wow. Happy thanks for your thanks. Okay, cool. So you got this here, right? Now here's what I do, just so that it's easy for me to move all these layers as one. You hit this button, which lets you select multiple things. Now that all these are selected as one, I can long press it and choose group. Now I have a convenient way of accessing all of those separate drawings, and I can collapse and expand the group. What's also cool about groups is I can now tap this group as a single object and position it to any size that I need it to be. So I'm just going to make it a little bit larger there and place it right about here. Let me make sure there's enough space for the serpent at the end. Yep, there's perfect. What's also cool about groups is you can change their anchor points. So right now, if I rotate it, it always rotates from this weird anchor point right there that I'm pointing to with the pencil right there. And so it's kind of stuck there, but maybe you don't want it to orbit around this point. That's when you click on the 3 dots in the corner and choose Edit Anchor. And this lets you move the anchor point to maybe somewhere else. Maybe I want it to rotate around the character's hand. With the anchor point placed there, I go to rotate now, and look at that. It orients around the character's hand because that's where I placed the anchor point. Oh, thank you, Jay. Okay, so why does this anchor point apply? Well, we're going to use this to kind of create our animations. So the first anchor point I want to adjust is where the head is. Because right now, if I rotate the head, actually, you know what? It's not that bad. That's actually a pretty good spot. But I might want to move the anchor point somewhere else so that the neck bends more naturally. So I'll go to the 3 dots, click on Edit Anchor, and I'm going to move it to where the neck actually connects, which is closer to there. Hit done, and now when I go to the corner, that looks like the head is rotating properly. Great, let's do the same thing with this arm. So I go to the layer that's the arm, which is not that one, it's this one. Let's see where it rotates. And it also, the anchor point applies to scale. So right now you see this, the arm would want to rotate from this middle point, but because I need the arm to stay connected to me, we need to move that anchor point from this elbow to that shoulder. So, I want to turn off Do Not Disturb. It distracts me when I'm working. Okay, there we go. So we're going to grab this arm and go to the three dots, go to Edit Anchor, and we're going to move it to the shoulder and hit Done. Now the arm, it rotates from the shoulder. This is why overlaps are so important that I mentioned earlier, so that there's actually an arm to see. Because if you didn't have an overlap, then when you went to rotate, it would just look like a slice. But it's almost like you need to make a whole puppet. Let's do one more arm, this one here. Again, by default, the arm rotates from this random spot, not what we want. So what we want to do is take those anchors, edit the anchor, and move it right to a nice spot for the shoulder rotation. Maybe a little bit higher right there, or maybe something like that. Maybe a little bit lower. Cool. Hit Done and try it out. Great. So we got some movement, right? We got the anchor made. You can almost think of these as a rig. We kind of made a rig from our puppet. So here's what I want to do. The next thing is I want to show you how to record an animation. So for example, I want this character's arm to start from a kind of downwards position, and then I want it to work its way up. So to do this, I have it moved to the down frame, and I set my time indicator to the beginning of the animation, which is right around this 4-second mark. Hang on 1 second. My dog's bumping his head. Here we go. There you go. Okay. Just put him on the couch for safety. All right, so I moved the the first frame right here, right? And then what we do is we click on the icon, and there's this new button here that says Action. I click on the Move. This will set a keyframe at the position that we are at. So if I go to the Move keyframe, it just sets a keyframe. Now I can go to the end of the animation. Maybe I'll play it out to see how fast it is. 1, 2, 3, maybe up to here might be good. And I'm simply going to rotate it to the height that I want. That automatically sets a new keyframe. So when we hit the play button, watch this. The arm is going to raise up slowly and then land in place. How cool is that? So right there, we set 2 keyframes, and that's what we're seeing. Now, if we needed to retime this animation, it's as easy as selecting the keyframe that we placed and moving it to an earlier time. Or not. I don't know why it's not moving. I don't know how to move this keyframe. Oh, there you go. Oh, sorry. You have to hard press it. So now I just made it so it's a little bit faster. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, great. So now you see how the arm raises up a little bit faster than it did before. Now I also want the character's head to look at the arm and kind of mirror that motion. So I'm going to go to the first keyframe, go to the rotation of the head, and put the head down, and then go to where it needs to go and rotate the chin up. And then maybe here, when it sees a creature, I'll move it up a little bit further. So let's see how that looks. Oh, it looks like it didn't set keyframes. What I did wrong here is I forgot to set an initial keyframe. So to set a keyframe, you got to go to the first spot, tap the icon, go to the Move tool, then click the Move and Scale, and now position the asset. Now you can go to a later point in time, adjust, and now we have the animation. So now we've animated the rotation of the head and the arm. Then I'm going to hold the keyframe, and then when something happens later, I want the head to move again one more time. So it's going to tilt up. So it's like a few different head motions. So it goes to there, and then when the head looks up one more time. Probably after the creature appears. So I might move the timing. Yeah, I might move the timing of that creature to happen a little bit earlier. That's the creature, right? It's this one. See at that point in time. I'm just going to set that key to be a little bit earlier. Cool. So now we have this arm going up, and then the creature appears. Now there's going to be something that I have happening here that helps tell us to look up, but we'll get there. Now we have another one here. We're going to take this arm and we're going to add a little bit of motion to it as well. So I'm going to set a keyframe, go to the move and scale, and as we look up, I'm just going to add a little bit of movement to that arm, not a lot, and just rotate it ever so slightly. Keeps wanting to scale. There we go. I'm going to rotate just a little bit forward. So this just adds a little bit more motion to the character, and it's like we have like a rig. And you see that we've added these all to like individual layers. One by one, we kind of just add a little bit of motion. Now the next thing I want to have happen is create this little bit of motion of like something happening to the arm. I kind of want some like energy of some sort to kind of move down the arm, and then it like forms into that eel structure, like a very serpentine thing. But I need to do this in a style of animation called straight ahead. So what we've done so far was all keyframe animation. And for those just joining, we started off by using the app Procreate, and we got our reference artwork, and we took that reference artwork and traced it into key areas that we wanted to animate. I found like really 4 or 5 areas, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 areas I wanted to animate. We separated each of them and made sure that there was enough overlap over each part so that there's like a little neck here that would allow us the freedom to show a neck and a head that overlaps there. And we kind of added all these parts. Whereas as of right now, I'm not worried about the actual design of the characters. I'm still going to do all that later. But for now, I just want to get a rough animation in there. We then placed anchor points into all the different parts. And I showed you how you can place and adjust anchor points in this second app called Procreate Dreams, which is designed for animating. And we've got this animation here. The rough timing is kind of what I think of. Now what I want to do is add straight ahead animation. So we're going to go in here and click this new button we haven't pressed. The plus button creates a new track. Now a track in this system is kind of like a new layer. And I'm going to make sure it's part of the same system. Okay? And what we want to have happen is I'm going to go to the doodles. And for now, I'm just going to doodle in purple, a different color we haven't used yet. And I'm going to use a brush that we haven't really used yet. Maybe just like just a simple monoline here. And just going to make a little shape. Make the brush a little bit bigger. Okay. So we have this shape here, right? Because it's on its own layer, like the other ones, I want to use this to kind of guide me on a new style of animation that I'm about to do. So my first thing I'm going to do is make sure that circle is going to be it's going to appear the whole time. So I drag it from the start here to the end. So it has that circle appears the whole time. Now, we're going to go to the object, tap on it without the brush tool. So just we're going to just tap on the object. Oh, it looks like it made it in 2 weird spots. I didn't mean to do that. Let me go to the eraser and erase this extra part. It accidentally selected it in 2 spots. Okay, there we go. So now it should probably be just the object. Okay, it's close enough. So what I'm going to do is move the anchor point to be right in the center of that circle. And what we're going to do is perform what I want the motion to do. So you can actually record the movement of an object on here with your Apple Pencil. And while you're moving it, it sets keyframes of where this object is in space. This is another style of animation in this tool. If what I showed you before is called keyframed animation, where we set keyframes and we start a beginning and an end pose and it does the in-betweens, this method is a style of animation known as performance animation. We perform what we want this circle to do, and if we hit the record button, it will capture it. Let me show you a quick demo, and then we'll do it for real. So so we got our object, right? I have it selected. We go to the record button, and watch this. Me just stretching it up and down recorded keyframes. So when we go to play it, it remembered that. Right? So it can work for any animatable attribute. It doesn't just have to be scale. It can also be changing the object's position. So we can animate this circle separately and get it to move exactly where we want it to, and it will look really, really cool. So, and also you can choose to select it by even selecting outside of it. You don't have to select the object itself because the track knows that it's selected. Okay, ready? So I'm gonna hit the record button, and as soon as I touch the screen, it's gonna start recording keyframes. So I want some energy to flow down, and then that happens. Let's take a look. So you see how it recorded that purple circle? We got that motion in there because of this technique. I'm going to do it again, and it's as easy as going to the beginning, hitting the record button, and just re-performing. Oops, it zooms out. Let's take a look. So you see how it recorded all of those positions and even the part at the end there. What I might do to help my brain out is actually show that whole character where the end position is, because I'm trying to think of where the character's head is. So I'm going to show that layer the whole time so that we actually can like follow it and stuff. And we're going to re-record the performance. So I'm going to go here, hit the stop button, hit record, and here we go. 3, 2. There we go. So now that circle kind of follows the motion. I actually want to re-perform it again. I don't think I liked the way that motion came out. Let's try it again. Let's go to the very beginning here. Hit record. There we go. I think that was my favorite performance of the object yet. Let's take a look. Cool. So now what? I'm going to hide this object. Oops, wrong one. I'm going to hide the eel object. There we go. And now we're going to go to our drawing layer. And we can switch our system to drawing mode. And what's really cool is we can like take this animation and click duplicate. Oh, didn't duplicate. Maybe I'll hit copy and then make a new track above it. I don't know how to paste a new track inside here. There we go. And then I'm just gonna try to paste it in here. Okay, let me try this. I'm just gonna click the layer. And then duplicate. Oh, it doesn't do it. Okay, what if I copy, long press, paste? Okay, that looks like it kind of worked. It's weird. It looks like it didn't copy all the frames. So let me try this again. Delete content. I have this whole thing selected. I'm going to long press and choose copy. Move up, long press, and paste. Weird. It looks like it's doing something slightly different each time. I don't know what that's about, but I will just move it forward and see what happens. I'm trying to think what's the best way to copy keyframes. I wonder if do I have to select all the keys or? Okay, well, I don't know what that's about. I'm just going to switch to the drawing mode, and because I wanted to show a cool feature. This mode is called flipbook mode, And it lets you see the past of your drawings and the future of your next drawings. And what's nice about Flipbook is you can kind of flip the frames with your fingers and see where the things need to go. So I'm just using this purple marker kind of like a placeholder, right? Because what I'm going to do on the layer above it is go to drawing mode, and I could just follow this. So if I wanted to have like some energy go down the arm, I could kind of just follow the purple Let's take a look. So you can see how we can kind of follow those lines. We can follow that circle, and then that lets us continue our drawing. Right? You can see how that works. We got a question from Danny. It says, I wish the makers of Procreate could see this and improve some of these things. Oh, I mean, the app is phenomenal. I mean, I love it. It's like a $20 payment one time, and then you get this like super animation tool. I don't mind a few bugs. Okay, so this kind of appears, right? It goes through, and yeah, so I'm kind of thinking of this creature. So let's go to this drawing, go to flipbook mode. I'm just trying to think of what this entity looks like. So I'm going to try to treat it more like a serpent-y looking thing now. I'm just doodling. Great. Now let's bring back the reference drawing, just so I know where I need it to end up being. Okay, so then maybe I slowly move this around that way, maybe slowly moving this out this way. Then we get to this point. And then it kind of continues. And what's cool is we're doing this on a different layer, so it's not going to interfere with the reference. And if you need to drop the opacity of a layer, you totally can, but I think it's okay right now because I'm doing it in a different enough color. But if it is bugging you, you can go and I think you can drag a new color in here. Let's say I just use like gray or something. Yeah, there we go. Oh, but gray and purple doesn't really come. Let's do yellow and purple. Those are pretty strong opposites. It'll be a little bit easier to see the line edges. Okay, let's just see what that looks like so far. Yeah, and so now you're seeing how we like combine all these animations together, you know, to do different kinds of things. And we get to this spot here. Maybe I'll switch to 2s at that point. Oh, you know what I need to do? I need to slowly transition into this like zigzagged thing. So I'll get this line and kind of create little bumps here. And little bumps there. And then let's make them really exaggerated. Great. And then after they've been exaggerated a bunch, we'll do a tiny overshoot. where the lines, where the lines get really dramatic for a frame. There we go. And then we could bring this around here. And then go to this line out over here. Okay. Okay, and then I think I'll just hold that last keyframe. Okay, cool. Let's take a look at the animation now, and I will hide the yellow animation till just the very end there. So let's see us get from point A to point B. Here we go. So just like that, you have, more customizable hand-drawn animation built off your reference. And it's like we have, kind of like a rig in one spot. And I like the little zappies right there that kind of form near the end. There's a weird dropped frame happening. Let me see if we've gotten rid of that frame thing. Okay, I guess it's gone. Cool. So now that that's looking pretty good, we can probably get rid of the circle. We kind of know that that's like the head position. And, we can kind of get this little shocky thing going. And, yeah. But you can see how many drawings that was here in purple. Quite a bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Honestly, for these ones, I probably should just be cycling keyframes. Another pro tip here is when you have characters repeating a motion, you don't need to draw it every single time like I did. You can probably just draw like 3 of these and then just keep looping the same set of 3 over and over again. A lot of rubber hose classical animation would do a lot of loops just to kind of save time for the animators. And it also has like a really cool aesthetic to it. So we kind of play that animation out. Cool. Great. Let's look at our reference artwork and see how do we get from this concept closer to, closer to our finals here. So I'm going to hide the thingies here. Okay. So one thing we notice in this is there's also some major electrical energy going around the sides here. That will be really fun to animate. I don't have that at the moment. I'll probably do 2 drawings and then cycle between them to create like electricity. And that might be kind of cool. And then we also have this cool electrical design that kind of shoots up the back. And I might want to animate the jaw separately. You know what I mean? Because like looking at this character, you got the head here. And then a different color, we kind of have like a jaw that might be here. And then this overlapped area would be where we would animate and place the anchor point. So we place the anchor point there to allow the lower jaw to rotate and create that. Oops, let me see. Don't know if we have a good rotation here. Oh, that's the selection itself. There we go. So yeah, so it might be cool if the character starts off like a point and then it like opens its mouth almost like it's hissing. So it could be like, tss, ka, ka, ka. You know what I mean? So it might be good to have this part of the character split up. And then a third part of the character that might be helpful to split up would be all of this part. So these kind of 3 parts maybe this fourth part. Maybe that should be a separate one because it feels like that's like one arc shape. What fun way you think people can use this kind of workflow? Wait, awesome. What's some fun ways you think people can use this kind of workflow? Oh, for animation. I use this to make animatics. So even for the TED conference, we did this process. I'll show you a sneak peek at the TED opener animation that we did. So for TED, the initial version, I did all the storyboarding in Procreate, and I did in all these cells. And then what I did in the Procreate Dreams app was I moved that drawing and synced it up to the timing of our initial rough script so that we can get early approvals from TED on what we were going to do for the opener for the TED conference last week. And so all that was super helpful to do here in Procreate. And you can play audio in here, and you can put video clips, and you can do animations, and you can do doodles over here. So we did this to kind of get the initial pass approved for the TED stage. It was a lot easier to get this done here, roughly from like going from your sketches in the Procreate app. And I'll show you the initial. These are all the storyboards I did by hand using the app Procreate. So I was like talking about we want to have everything start from a point, and it explodes into this grid, and we see all the history of TED videos go by, and then the TED videos kind of scroll by, and then we're going to have some of them highlight for key historic moments from the TED conference. Then there's like this void. Then we start to see some like undulating clouds that turns into noise, and then we bring in those Gaussian splat technologies, and then all those point clouds are in there, and then we create the different branches. So all of this was a lot easier for me to visualize to the TED team by drawing it first in Procreate before animating parts of it in Procreate Dreams. So that's kind of how I think of this tool. I would say Procreate and the Procreate Dreams app are very versatile animation tools. I use them for lots of different things. And the next thing I'm going to be using it for, ideally, is for this short animation I want to make around my own life story, on how this story relates to me. Because this eel is how I feel about my nerve condition. And I think it'll be easier for me to explain my chronic nerve issue by relating it to this eel that feels like it's a part of your arm. And I spent many years of my life not understanding why my arm turned into an eel and decided to start attacking me. And so it's really a story about what happened in my brain during my brain surgery. I did have brain surgery when I was 19, back there in the back of my spinal cord. So it's a heavy story, but it's where all of my perspective of life comes from. And I want to retell that story through the lens of animation. And, thank you so much for joining the live streams. Yeah, and I apologize for, again, not being in the live streams. I started working full-time at a new job. So I've always been, the last 5 years after I left DreamWorks, I was a solo creator. And then I just decided to work at a company, and it takes a lot of time. And yeah, so I end up, not streaming as much since I started working there, but mostly just the TED conference stuff, working on the opener for TED. That was like every single day for a couple of weeks. And then I would be pretty tired when I came home. So I didn't have time to stream. But now that project's done, I got some time back. I figured, hey, let's get back into the streams. Okay, so what I just did right now is broke up this character just into 3 parts. And what I'm going to do, actually, I take it back. I don't want to do 3 parts. I want to do it in 4 parts. What do I mean by that? This section, I want to trim it here as a part. So with that selected, we'll do cut and paste, so that becomes its own piece. Great. And then we got to create that overlap effect. So I'm going to go to here, go and create a little overlap with the with the pen tool and the right color. Create this overlap. Fill that in. And then do the same thing with this one. And create a little overlap. Great. And then let's take all these pieces of the puzzle. These eel pieces. Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Kellen. I'm also going to just put an eyeball on this because it's fun. I'll just do it in whatever, green. Oh, pro tip with Procreate. If you hold your pen in place, it will keep perfectly straight lines. It also applies to shapes. You can keep perfectly straight lines if you need them. Super helpful tool. Took me too long to learn about that. So I'm just going to do a straight line here and then an arc here and hold. And that lets you control the shape of the arc. And then you can even click edit arc, which lets you further control the exact shape of the arc that you're looking for. And then we can fill it with the color that we need and erase this little detail. Okay, cool. I did that on the right layer, right? Yeah, that's on the face. Okay, so now we're going to take these layers and bring it into the Procreate Dreams app. So let's do my trick where I split the screen, Procreate Dreams on one side. Oh, we also need to make sure that we're on the right project file. So I will go back to the menu, go back to the menu and choose the right project at the tippy top. There we go. And make sure that we're lined up on our scene. So if all of that makes up the character's, body, then we're going to do these ones. So let's grab the correct layers here. It's 1, 2, 3, and 4. With them selected, we long press, drag that into the Procreate Dreams app, and release. It imports the layers, and now we close Procreate to stay in the Procreate Dreams app. Now the layers all came in kind of random spots. I haven't found the best way of navigating to where things get imported in this app. Still a work in progress. I think it would have helped if I gave it less layers because then it wouldn't freak out about where I place things. But for now, I'm just going to go to when the yellow appears right there. That's where I want these animations to start. So I'm going to go right there and then take this one, put it there, take this one, put it there, take this one, put it here. And so when I work in this way, I really have the intention of drawing. I'm going to work on top of this eventually. But for now, this is good enough. So with these placed, we're now going to group them. I'm going to select my grouping tool. Oh, we got a question I didn't respond to. Mach1 Monkey writes, are these layers acting like masks or selection zones? Currently, they're acting more like rough animation shapes for me, since I'm going to have to animate on top of all of this afterwards. But I use this to get performance and timing and to convey concepts. Because I'm going to pitch this film as an idea to do at my studio. But I think if I come to that meeting with more of a concept, more than just artwork, if I have some animated ideas, I can help explain the story of that I want to tell. So I'm kind of using this more like to create the elements for a pitch deck, because ultimately I think if I'm lucky, I'll have a whole team of animators and to help tell this story, and we'll make some magic together. But I want to put a lot of my flair into this, since this is a really personal story, and it is the story that I think defines who I am. Okay, so I'm going to grab these 4 layers. Again, it's these 2 red parts, the green part for the mouth and the eye. Grab all 4, long press, and hit group. So now it treats it all like one layer. And with this group, we can scale it to fit the size that would properly be, what I imagined, the scale of this thing, at least at this stage. Eventually the creature becomes a lot larger than me, but during the early days when we first get a reveal of what this creature is, it looks about that size in my brain. Okay, cool. So we have all those layers. Let's go ahead and expand the layers. We're going to do the same tricks I mentioned before. We're going to move anchor points and then animate. So first anchor point is this lower section. Excuse me. So with that lower section, we click it. Click the three dots, go to anchor point. We're going to move it to here. Why? So that when we rotate it, it will rotate these guys. I wonder, can I like parent? I wonder if I can parent this to that, because I know it'd be like an actual rig. Let me think about that for a second. Is there a way to parent this to that? How would I do that? Okay, I have a theory. I'm going to take this out of the group. Okay, I just broke up the group. Wait, I'm going to move this one out of the group. Okay, so if this was... Oh, but then it loses the scale. Okay, so no, don't do that. My brain is braining right now. Let me think about this. If this is the group that I want to inherit its origin from... Okay, I think I got it in my head. I think I should start here and then group the next layer. Can I parent a... Let's just test this out. I just have a random theory in my head about grouping here. If I want to group these two layers together, so I select them together, right? They're both selected, and then I long press them and I hit group, right? Okay, so that's a group. Does a group have an anchor point? Is my question. So I select the group. Oh, it does. It does. Wait, that's great news. Okay, so if a group has an anchor point, that means this group can have separate anchor points. But how do I connect these two? I guess I can group. So if the head's one piece and this body is another piece, I'm going to group these two together now. No, I'm going to group this one. I'm going to group. Okay. Sorry, I have to think out loud on this one. So if I grab the face layer and the upper torso, which is this section, and then I set these two layers to be grouped, in theory, that means there's a group within a group. So that means if I were to rotate this layer, it's a bit of a convoluted way of doing it, but it might work. Okay, so now this layer has its anchor point here, which means I could be rotating on this separately from rotating on the head layer, which is within that, which kind of means it acts like a rig in a sense. And then this last section, I'll group this plus this. Yeah, I think I got this. It's working in my brain. So I'm going to group these two. And then in this one, we go to edit the anchor point. I would say this is a more advanced rig, to rig a snake in this format. So I go to edit anchor. I move the anchor to the arm. Hit done. Okay. So this means this is the master rig. And now when I expand the group, it opens up to the next rig that has rotation and opens up to the next rig that hasn't. So I think I got this. So let's expand all the groups. The last one I need to do is on the mouth itself. So let's move the anchor point of the jaw. So go edit anchor, move it to the jaw anchor point. And I think we're good. I think all these parts, 1, 2, 3, 4, all have their anchor points in the right spot. So that means I should be able to just animate. Maybe I'll animate the smallest thing first. Or should I animate the big things first? I forgot how it goes. Let's try big to small. So if we start off with big to small, I go to set a keyframe here on frame 1 of the overall rotation of this like C shape. Also, I'm going to get this the right scale now. So this is the scale of the whole object. There we go. Okay. I'm going to set a keyframe for move and scale. And then I'm going to hit the record button. And now what I'm going to do is start to rotate this object, and it should record the movements. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so I recorded that. Let's see it work. All right, so now that has movement. It's brief, but you see how it has movement there, right? Hit the play button. Great. Now I'm going to see if I can record movement on the second chain of the serpent creature. So to do that, we go to the next component, expand it. I go inside the layer, and I'm just going to try to add a little bit of movement to this one. So let's go to the first keyframe, set a filter, move and scale, and I'm going to go and rotate this one. Oops. I meant to hit the record button, and then we got to rotate. All right, let's see if it combines the two animations. It does. Wow, that theory actually worked. I'm surprised that worked. So it records the movement of the main group, and now it secondly records the movement of the second group. Cool, let's move down a layer. Go to the third group. So for this one, same idea. Hit the record button, go to rotate. Got it. Let's see if that worked. Great. And then lastly, we're just going to have the jaw open. So I'm going to go to the jaw layer, which is that green layer, and then I'll just manually have it closed by default. I'll set a keyframe for rotation. So the mouth will be closed. And then we'll go to set a value. Then we'll go forward. And then maybe right here we'll have the jaw open to like that hiss form. We'll create a little bit of an overshoot. Great. Let's take a look. Wow, so that totally works. I think I just have to have the frames live a little bit longer. Or I guess I can just trim these shorter. Let's go there. Okay, I think this is working in principle. Oh yeah, so you can collapse the whole group. Can I consolidate this area? Yeah, that's great. Oh, and then I disappeared there. So let's, what is this group? I guess this is the end of that animation, so I'll just crop it all to the end of that animation. Great. And then let's take a look at the new animation pass. Here it is, 3, 2, and 1. Cool. Yeah, look at that. So you can combine multiple objects, and this character is kind of rigged in a sense. It's a little weird, to be honest, to build rigs with multiple parts, but it kind of worked. Now let's see it with the full new sequence that we animated tonight. Okay, and 3, 2, 1. That's great. Yeah, look at that. So there you have it, folks. there's a weird dropped frame happening somewhere. What is going on there? Oh, I see. Because the animation now thinks it's longer than this time frame. But I don't see a layer that's causing it. I don't know why the time indicator is 10 seconds. We're really sitting at what looks like 8 seconds on the dot. So I'm going to change the time preferences to loop. And under preferences or properties, let's set it from 10 seconds to 8 seconds. There we go. That's much better. There we go. We got a question from Danny. Says, would love to learn how to set the animation timing to music next. Oh, I got you. We could import music in here, or audio files for that matter. Let me just use my voice for fun. I'm going to go to the Voice Memos app and create a new recording. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. And now we're going to hit done. And I'm going to split the screen so that Procreate Dreams is on one side. Oops. How do I do that? Oh yeah, split the screen so that Procreate Dreams is on one side. Voice Memo is on the other. And I kind of just pull that audio file. Oops, I just renamed it to the weirdest thing ever. I'm just going to pull it straight into Procreate Dreams. Release. It imports. I'm going to close my Voice Memos app and hit the back button so I can see the canvas. And right at the bottom, I see the audio file. Weird, I don't see the waveform. Dun, 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 dun. I thought I would see the waveform. But you can bring the audio in. I'm just going to get closer to my animation layers. I wish there was a way to delete tracks. I don't know. Oh, I had to delete them one by one. Okay, that's silly, but oh well. I'll just delete them one by one because it's just getting a little too spacious in here. So I long press with my fingers and hit delete track. Long press, delete, 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 long press, delete. This should be a feature. Okay, and great. So now we're back to much fewer frames. And I think I did see the waveform for a split second. There it is. Oh, I see it to be zoomed in quite a bit. Weird. Okay, if you're zoomed in, you'll see an audio waveform. Sometimes. And that's how you would animate, I guess. It's weird. This might be a glitch that it doesn't show the full waveform until you're very close. But that's how I would do it. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Yeah, so that's how I would do it. But as of right now, I'm not doing audio. But I guess I probably wouldn't do my audio in here. I'd probably do audio in After Effects just because I probably will bring all these assets into After Effects. But trying to get as much done on the iPad since it lets me brainstorm much faster than other workflows. I'm going to continue deleting empty tracks that I'm not really using. What is all this stuff? You know what? I think I'm seeing a couple of bugs. I'm going to close Procreate Dreams. Maybe deleting all those tracks freaked it out, so I'm going to reopen it. Still not showing me what's in this. I don't know what this is. I'm going to just drag it and see what happens. Okay, I think this is a dud. There's nothing in there, so I'm just going to delete that. Cool. It's a lot cleaner canvas now to work with. Awesome. Thanks. By the way, my name is AD, like for Angie Anji Danny. Anji Danny. Anj Danny. I don't know how to pronounce your first name, and I apologize. I don't, as of now. Could you write it out phonetically? But cool, we got this drawing. And so with all this, what I might do from here, let's say like at a later time, I do the drawings for the face and I have like a proper animation made. What I would do, oh, like Angela. Oh, got it. Sorry, Angie. Oh, I got it now. Thank you so much. Sorry, Angie. So now that we have this animation, right? And let's say you come up to this point where you're like, well, this is great for getting the concept, but now we want to actually like do more stuff, more than just this thing. You want to replace one of your layers. I want to show you how I would do that. I forgot how myself, so I need to like remember. I think it's the 3 dots. Oh, I lied. It's not the 3 dots. Oh, you long press the layer. Rename, highlight, blend, mask, fill duration, track options. Let's do that one. Track options. I wonder, let me just see. If I were to go to Procreate app, let's say I did go back to the head layer, and just for fun, I did some more drawings. Perfect. Okay, let's say that was my super detailed drawing of my face. I want to see, how do I replace this new drawing? And let's say I gave myself hair. I'll give myself a really bad hair. There we go. And just, okay, so let's say that was my new drawing of my head, and I need to replace this with something that I've already made in Procreate Dreams. Let me see how complicated or simple this is. I haven't done it in a while, so I forgot how I would do it, but I'll need to know anyway. So I'm in here. So, okay. Oh, I see. So you can actually get to the frame level by double clicking. That's interesting. Do I have to go to drawing level? No. Okay, I see a duplicate button. Oh, wow. That's so cool. There's actually drawing layers. Oh my goodness. I could just hide a layer. Oh, dude, we're in so much luck. If it's this friendly, this is way friendlier than I thought it was going to be. So let's say this was your super detailed drawing. You added facial hair and creases. You're having this fun time. Great. We're going to drag and drop it in, I think, and then we're going to make sure it's in the right layer. I don't know how to do that. Let me see. So here's Procreate Dreams on, oops. Let me try that again. Procreate Dreams, drag it to the side. So we're split screen. Go back. Oh, what? Oh, I got to split screen and go all the way to the top. There it is. So let's say we wanted to replace the drawing here. Go to the layers. I wonder if I can just pull from layer to layer. That would be so sweet if it's that friendly. If not, well, this is how I learn. So there's the layer panel on one side. I might need to rotate this sideways just so I have a little bit more real estate. Okay, so now I have a little bit more real estate. I can split the screen this way. And on this side, we'll go to the back button, go to the layers. Great, can I take this new head layer and just drag it into here? Nope. Okay, there's a plus button. So now there's a space for it in Procreate Dreams. Can I drag it there? Interesting. So you can drag it on the canvas. I see a green plus sign, but I can't drag it into the layers. The green plus sign disappears. So I'll try it here, see what happens. Okay, it says importing head. Let's go into Procreate Dreams and see how to replace this asset with the other asset. So I would go to, okay, there it is. It's way up at the top there. For some mysterious and important reason, we're going to select it somehow. There it is. and then move it in place. Okay. And then how do I swap it though? I want to swap it with what's already there. Do I just copy it, or I'm gonna hit cut so that it's gone, and then but it's in the right place. I'm gonna go to the object itself, go to its layers, and see if I can paste it in here. Nope, it has clipping masks. Are you going to use color segmentation for an AI workflow, or is it just Procreate workflow? Both. I'm going to use it for both. But I'm just trying to figure out how to get a drawing. If I wanted to replace an asset with another one, I don't know how to do it yet. I am learning live. I would have assumed it was here, and I want to just long press and paste. I don't know how to do this. I copied it. It's in the clipboard, and now I want to paste it into the scene here. How do I do that? Okay. I long press in the track. Maybe I'll make a new track to start. So there's space. Okay. Long press. Paste. Okay, it kind of works, but it's not adopting the rotational animation that I already did to the head layer. Cold Watch writes, you can trim the layer and paste the layer in the same area. Ooh, that's a great idea. But will it lose the keyframes? Let's see. Oh. Okay, so it's in the same track. Let's see if it adopts it. It does not. It doesn't adopt the rotations that we already animated. Interesting. God, there's got to be a way to replace this. Because, like, what would be the point of doing rough animation if I can't swap assets out? There's track options. Oh. Paste. Did that do it? Please do it. Please do it. Oops. It's weird where it pastes in the strangest spots. Okay. So I want to keep all this information. Or do I have to copy the track data? So track options. I'm going to copy it. Can I rewatch this somewhere, Dawn? Here on Instagram is where I usually post these live streams. But this one might be so valuable I could maybe upload this on YouTube. You can't copy animation data? Oh, I can't? Oh, damn. Well, then that's not good. I thought I would be able to... I was doing like temporary objects so that I could replace things later, you know, as I do more detail. But this makes me think I have to do more final stuff. Let me try this again. So I copied, long press, paste. Okay, so what's so weird is some of the animation data appears. I see 1, 2, 3 of the keyframes. Oh, the fourth one's there too. Okay, they're all there. So this one this is an exact replica of the earlier layer, and it has weird. Oh, sorry, I set a new keyframe by moving it. All right, I might need to look up on YouTube how to do this. Oh, you learned tons. Okay, that's great. That's my whole goal here. Well, I was just trying to do that last important detail, but this makes me think that you might have to be more careful than me. In other words, it might be important to actually like finish the drawings first and then bring them in. But I was hoping I would be able to just replace stuff. And like, that would be great. I know I can draw on top of this. I know that's an option. So I could just go onto this layer and draw, right on. Let me get rid of this one. I can draw. Oops. But I was trying to use, you know what I mean? Like I wanted to not have to draw everything in Procreate Dreams because it doesn't have all of the, it doesn't have all the best drawing features. It only has some of the drawing features that Procreate has. But that is an option. You can just draw directly on it. But I don't want to do that, friends. I wanted to replace this with another drawing. In case I work with a larger team, it would be great to be like, hey, we can just swap things out. So far, it looks like I can't do that. What is confusing is there's layers. So like it has the intuition. It has the intuition to have layers. That's what I don't understand. Because I'm drawing this, and this lives on that new layer. So it knows a lot. But it doesn't know everything. Yeah, and the new layer moves with the right things. This is curious. This is let me look up on YouTube real quick. Or I'll just put it up on my TV. Let's see. Oy. How to replace assets in Procreate Dream. How to replace assets in Procreate Dreams. Oops. How to replace a single drawing in Procreate Dreams animation. Okay. 3 ways to animate. 5 quick tips. Animate this in Procreate. Make it move. Watch animate this portrait. Everything in. Okay, none of these are helpful. So I'm just going to keep.
This is everything you need to know about Procreate.
I'm going to keep trying. So you can import stuff. I mean, I know you can do this. There's gotta be a way to do this. What I'm just trying to do is import a few objects. If I import you can replace the asset, but animation data gets removed. Oh, that's a bummer. I wanted to use the animation data. What's this? Convert layers to tracks? No. Track options. You have to reanimate the layer again. Oh, bummer. Okay. Then I don't advise people to animate the way that I did here because I was trying to save time with this process. But doing it the way that I'm suggesting earlier would take more time than, it would take more time. That's not the goal. All right, well just bumped the camera. Sorry about that. Super jerky movement. Let's see how long we've been streaming for, just to get an idea of where we're at. We've been streaming for 83 minutes. Okay, not bad. Well, looks like according to cold_watch, we would have to reanimate stuff. Which is unfortunate, but I guess that's how it works. What I might do now is try to do a style transfer with AI just to see what it would do. I don't know if it will work. I haven't tried it on this drawing yet because, you saw we were doing it, in real time. I might want to make this purple object more solid. And and then have it disappear. We don't need to draw these few layers. Can you delete multiple layers at once, or is it just one at a time? Good. Oh, maybe just delete just these three. Okay. And then I'll get rid of the yellow layer. We don't need that one anymore. It was a placeholder. We might be able to get rid of that purple circle now too. Or I could use that as a guide to do like a cleaner red pass over it. Let's try that. So I'll go and just make a new layer. I mean, I guess in some regard, that's what I was planning to do initially, was kind of just draw over everything anyway. But I was just trying to speed things up. So I'll make a new track here. And in this new track, I'm going to make the arm itself change shape on a few of the frames. Oh, weird, you can't pull color. Oh, yeah, you can pull color. So maybe a ripple goes through the arm. Actually, this might work really well. Feels like that's a pretty big jump to go from there to there. Kind of works. It seems like the base was getting narrower and now it's a little bit thicker. Okay. kind of works. I guess I could continue that journey on top of that character rig. Oh, it's going good. This was about 91 minutes of animation to get from nothing to this. Not too bad, but hey, it is what it is. Maybe when the character opens its mouth, we should have the body react a little bit. So maybe I take the character's head rotation. Where's the head rotation? Oh, there it is, I think, right? Yeah. And then let's just set a keyframe. And then it just kind of rotates up a little bit. Great. And then let's do the same with one of these arms. Set a keyframe. And then get the arm to react a little bit. Maybe when it makes that little spike thing, you can get a little reaction. I'm going to move this group up as well. Can we group the head and make it come out the red body? Oh, that's a great idea. Yes. I think we should be able to do that. Wait, what do you mean? Oh, I see. Oh, like make that little face come out. Wait, not this one. Where's the... That's a great suggestion. So Cold Watch has the suggestion of, can we group the head and then have it come out of the red body? Let's take a look and see how we would do that. We got to first find the head of the snake-like creature. I think it's in this group here. Nope. Oh, no, it is. It's grouped within a group. So that was the group of the head. And so, can we make this earlier? Okay, we can't because the group isn't. Can we duplicate this? Let's see. I hit duplicate. Nothing happened. Let me add a new track, maybe. So if there's a new track, let's add a new track within the group. Now I will copy this, long press, and try to paste it. Okay. Can I move it outside the group? Okay, we can. Wait, or do we just break everything? There we go. I'm just going to move it over here. Okay, so it looks like that will work. And I'm just going to move it. I'm going to collapse this down, move this onto its own layer. And make sure, it's weird that it loses the initial shape, but I guess that's okay because we're going to scale it up anyway. I'll try to get it to this same scale. I mean, that's pretty close. Great. And then we're going to scale it up from nothing. Or maybe I'll start off by just animating its position over time. So let's see what the timing is. I guess we should do it from like the closed mouth state. So I'll expand the group, go to the mouth position. of the jaw drawing. I'm going to delete these keyframes. There we go. And then we're going to need to animate this coming up the body. That'll be kind of cool. Don't know the best way to do it. I just know a way to do it. So what I'm going to do is fuse this together. Oh, that's lower mouth. Oh, I see. Okay, got it. So I'm going to take the group, make the group last longer. Weird, it won't let me extend the group. Can I extend? There you go. Okay, so the group can be extended. And I guess I'll have it extend to when it was first arriving here, probably would be a good time. So let's extend this into the past. All right, looks like we lose a little bit of the layer there. So let's just extend that to the future. Get the timing of this to go there. Get the timing of this to go there. Great. And then I'll just take the whole group. We'll start there. And I wonder, can I flip this? Yes, flip horizontal. Oh, this is great. Okay, shrink it on the first frame and make it bigger in the last frame. Oh, that's genius. So we're going to start here. I'm going to place it there and rotate it. Oops. Rotate it. Okay. Okay, and then set a keyframe. Can I delete all these other keyframes? Or I have to just select them manually? That's fine. Luckily, there wasn't too many keyframes. Cool. They're deleted. I'm going to set a new keyframe now. Great, it's set. And then we move forward. And I place that there. And give it a little flip. Horizontal. Flip vertical. It doesn't know if it's horizontal or vertical. So I'm just going to manually do it. Oh man, I think I broke its brain. I don't know how to, it won't flip horizontal anymore, which is a little frustrating. I think I just broke its brain. Let me close it and reopen it. You have to edit the anchor point again to flip it. Oh, the anchor point. Thank you. So go to here, edit anchor point. Okay. Now flip it. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much. I did not know how to do that. Okay, and then let's make it a little bit bigger. Rotate there. And then rotate it down. Move it down. I don't know why I can't move it down. What's going on? Okay, let's see what we got here. Oh, wow, that totally worked. Yay. Okay, thank you so much. Wow, this is working wonderfully. Okay, then good. Let's see what's next. Looks like when the mouth opens, it would be cool to erase a couple of things. There's a little weird overlap happening here between the layers, so let's get rid of that overlap. There we go, no overlap. And then, oh, you said sheesh? Oh, wow, thank you so much, Cold Watch. And now let's get rid of the red. I'm just going to grab the little eraser tool and just erase. Let's choose a different eraser brush. That's freaking awesome. Okay, cool. So we got that going for us. Cool. Yeah, that looks really spooky, which is the goal. And then let's get rid of the purple stuff now. I don't think we need those circle references anymore. I think they are somewhere in the drawing layer up top, maybe? No? Are they in here? Group? Is it part of this layer? I don't see the circles in there. Where is the circles? Where are the circles hiding? Oh, I think they're at the top. No? Oh, it's this layer. Oh, wow. It's literally just this layer. I'm going to delete it. Okay, great. All right, I'm going to add a little bit of shake to this arm that's like holding him because my character looks scared at that moment in time. So let's find that arm. There it is. So I'm thinking maybe right here, we just start to hit the record button and just add a little bit of rotation. There we go. Just added a little bit of rotation to the arm. Did it do it? It didn't really do it. Let's try it again. Or I can just do regular keyframes. There we go. So now there's a little bit of movement. Looks scared, rightfully so. Yay, good. I mean, I was definitely scared of this beast, this metaphorical beast that came from my left arm way back in the day. Now let's add some electricity. So looking at our reference artwork, Okay, so we need to do some zigzags. So I'm going to do a cycle keyframe now between these like shapes. This one, I do think it would be easier to draw by first creating kind of like a thick line art of these shapes. Okay, and then going in with the selection brush and erasing jagged shapes from within these shapes. Thank you so much. Wait, this is a silly way to do this. I think there's a better way than what I'm doing right now. This is just the first way that came to mind. But as I'm doing it, I'm like, wait a second, there's actually a much better way to do electricity. That's less clicking. But that's not bad. Cool, so that's one version. And then the other layer would be kind of like that. I'll use a different approach to draw it this time. Now it's important that the electricity is a slightly different size so that when we cycle these two layers, it actually looks like shocking. Okay, let's bring those two layers in and just see what we get. So I'm going to bring this together on a new layer. And we'll go ahead and import that. Go to the plus button. Oh wait, what am I doing? Let's do this as a split keyframe. So let's go to our Procreate app, put on the side screen. I'm going to flip the canvas horizontally. I find it a little bit easier to transfer files this way. Okay, and then we're going to grab these two layers and pull them into here. Oh, that's cool. You can actually drag it onto the layer that you want, which is wonderful. Great. And now we're going to bring this together, find out the proper time. When do we want the electricity to strike? Maybe that's the first lightning strike is right where it currently is. So I'm going to take both these objects and just kind of scale them to their proper size here. Okay. And then I'll make this one keyframe, this one the other. And then duplicate this, slide it here, duplicate that, slide it here, and duplicate that. All right, so these 5 are one lightning shock. Let's take a look. Maybe I should time that better. Maybe I should do it when the character's mouth opens and stuff. Also, that's a little bit slower than I imagined. So I'm going to delete one of those. Maybe even delete this one too. Okay, so with those 3, oh, do you have to group them? Okay, so I'll group them and see. There we go. Cool. When the character shocks, we want the other arm to like move in response to things, right? So what does that look like? We grab the arm here. We want kind of a jerky movement right when the lightning strikes. Okay, and then we'll do the same thing with the other layers. Cool. Oh, AR maybe says, "Hey Don, working on Procreate Dreams. What an amazing app for iPads." Yeah, this is wonderful. I've been using this to animate stuff. I'm actually using it to work on an animated short film pitch concept that I have for the team, and I thought it would be good to, get more practice in animating traditionally and mixing it with some new tools that I think would be really important. So I think this is all kind of one new scene. So I'm going to group all of this. Oops, I missed a couple. Let's try it again. So if I take all of that, long press and group, that becomes a scene, no? How do I do that? Long press, group. Group. I don't see the root. Let me try this again. Oh, I think what might help is if I collapse things down first. So I collapse that. That is collapsed. Okay, then there we go. So let's collapse these 3 things. I'll move this down. See if I can group all these now. There we go. And then I can move that all into one track. Oh, it's so much nicer to organize. Yes, I can even put this first, and then this can happen afterwards. Okay. Great. And then I'm going to take these two layers and group them. And what I'm going to do with these is something else. Let's just take a look at the full frame. So you can take a full frame and like reposition things and scale it up differently. Okay. Good night, everybody. Can't wait to see what AI generates. That will be sweet. Let me just go to the scale tool real quick and just scale this right up here. Cool. When will it be continued? Good question. I'm going to try to get into a more regular cadence of live streaming again. I think Tuesday evenings might work pretty well for me for now. So maybe we'll say either next Tuesday, probably be the next one. I'm trying to figure out a schedule here and see where we are at. I might work a bit more on this too on my own beforehand. Waiting for your workflow on point cloud data and that awesome particle simulation. Oh yeah, that's a good one. I need to do that too. The plugin for After Effects is called iRelix, or it's by a person named iRelix, and the app is called Gaussian Splatting, and it's on AE Scripts. But yeah, that would be a good one to go over as well. Good reminder. But cool. Also, I'm starting to get the hang of how you can organize larger animation scenes here, because everything should just be in groups. And then when you're done with a scene, I wonder, can you rename this instead of group? Can I just be like, oh yeah, you can. Reveal. To save it. Okay, cool. So you can name stuff like that. That's actually super helpful. Also, I love how if you bring the pencil near it, it starts to animate, which is kind of cool. Okay. I'm a little sleepy. How do you plan to retexture the segmented part? You could do it in Comfy. That would help. I think what I was probably going to do for now is just bring this into you know what, let's just see what happens. If I try to bring this into Runway ML real quick before I go to sleep, please, if possible, kindly inform 1 day in advance for your live stream so we're from all parts of the world can connect and learn from you. That's very reasonable. Let's plan for Tuesdays. That's what I'll try to do. Tuesday evenings. Pacific Standard Time. I'll make a calendar event for it, and then I'll try to get this regular cadence again, something that's manageable, something that we can actually do. Oh, it's noon. Oh, got it. Right. So I'll have to say, I wish we all just had one time. It could be like everyone had the same noon. Well, I think I can do the runway part really quickly. Let me see what time is it. I know it's kind of late. It's late on my end, but I at least want to show you how I would start to explore that. So let me just open up a separate tab here. Make sure there's no work stuff on here. And let's go to runwayml.com. Okay. Try Runway now. Log in with that account. All right. Okay, this actually might work. So what I'm going to do very quickly is just export this scene. Or heck, maybe let's export both scenes. Let's just see what happens. Let's get crazy. It's only 7 seconds worth of animation, right? So we'll go to click on this button. I'm going to click on export, or sorry, click on share. I'm going to export this as a video. Great. And we're going to save it to my camera roll. Done. Now let's go into Runway ML and we're going to create a new generative video. Great. And now we're going to upload, we're going to try style transfer. So how to do that? Up at the top, you can choose images or videos. And under Gen 3 Turbo, it has the fastest one right now that can do style transfers pretty well. So upload an asset. So I'll go to photo library and give it the animation that we just made inside of Procreate Dreams. Great. So I'm just going to upload that into Runway ML. AR maybe says I'm 12 hours ahead of you, so approximately 11:58 a.m. in India. It's hard to find times that work for everybody, but we will find it. All right, so I'm going to hit crop on this video. And then what we're going to do is see if I can use the concept artwork as the first frame to see if it adheres to it. So down here in this section is where we can add that first frame thing. So there it is, styled first frame. I'm going to click on that. Use a restyled first frame of your video to apply a new style. Ensure the image structure matches the original first frame. Oh, I see. Let me switch that. Oh, sorry. This is where I upload it. So mine doesn't really match that, but let's just do whatever we have. I have this guy here. Okay. Thank you so much, Cold Watch. Okay, so that's the restyled first frame, and let's hit generate, see what happens. So it's going to try to use my concept artwork as the first frame, and it's going to try to use this video as the input. Let's see what it does. We're at 8%. Let's hit generate a couple times just to create some variations. All right, we got some stuff loading. It's pretty fast. We're using GPU servers somewhere. 85, 87, 90, 95, 98. 98 should be done in like 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, we got stuck on 98. It's going to work. Just give it an extra beat. Sorry for hyping up the time with the countdown. There it is. All right, so very interesting. I mean, it kind of understands. Can you change the frame rate and aspect ratio of your rendered animation from Procreate Dreams and Runway? That's not a bad idea. Yeah, we can change frame rate. Let's do that. But it kind of worked. You know, it put the face on that character for that first one. Let me see how the second one came out. I mean, what's so cool is it kind of works. It's kind of bizarre that it actually works at all. And like it added details. It's nuts. It actually worked. I would say I can get it to do better if I can apply, I think they have a tool that applies less. There it is, structure transformation. There we go. So higher values result in greater change to your input's structure, while lower values will be closer to your input. Let me choose lower value and then generate. This might adhere to the drawing input data more closely. And then just to show you extremes, let's push this up a lot higher and generate. So this will give us one that adheres more closely to the initial, and the other one will be more hallucinated away from the original. So it'll be good to see both extremes. What else is this? Oh, examples. That's cool. Let's see. Interesting. Higher values result in greater change to your input structure, while lower values will be closer to your input. Well, we've tried both, so we'll see what happens. I think another fix would be to change the background, or even to like use more colors that are similar. Okay, I don't know which one this one was. Let's take a look. Okay, so it looks like this one, I don't know if this was the higher or the lower one. I can't tell. Okay, I don't know. Let's try this one. This one's much better. I kind of like this minimal style going on here. I think I have another theory as to what's going on. I think the issue here is my structure of my first frame is so different from the next frame. So I'm almost thinking what I should do is have like a frame of just exactly this, as closely as possible to the original. This one here. And if I just try my best to, I didn't want to put it there. I wanted to have this be there and have that be there. I'm just going to try to match the framing a lot closer, just so it has less to hallucinate. Okay. So if that's the starting frame, I would think that it understands it better. So let's screenshot something here. And then just crop it. Okay, so I'm going to use almost the same exact structure, and I think it will help its brain out. So let's go. Oh, it does have the same structure. Let's try it anyway. Upload photo library. Oops. Okay. All right, let's hit generate. So that one is at an 8. Let's go to a 2. And let's try a 5. And try an 8. So we got some options here. I'm a little sleepy, but let's see what we got here. Oh, interesting. Not what I had in mind. Love its concept, though. But nope. Let's try the next one. Okay, this one's the closest so far. minus that alien part. That one is kind of getting somewhere with this part here. Yeah, I mean, that kind of gets somewhere. I think we're on the right track there. I don't know what this lightning bolt is. Okay, let's try the next one. Whoa, it's just a mouth? Oh, that's super disturbing. Okay, so... It's weird that it wants to give my character legs so badly. You know, it kind of works. It kind of works. That one got like the right head movement and the neck movement. But it totally disrupted the character. I think at least of right now, I'd be better off just animating it myself. But at least we tried it, you know? Yeah, so what we did tonight was a lot of traditional animation. This is what we animated. It took about an hour and 30 minutes, about 90 minutes to get to this. And then there's another shot there. I'll go to just the one that we worked on tonight, though. Let me move this a little bit over here. Move this one there. Slide that block back together. Okay. But yeah, so that's what we worked on. Hey, Don, please use Kriya AI once. I do use Kriya. It's great. That one would be pretty cool for style transferring a single frame. I also could use Sora maybe to transfer the style on a few different frames in between. There's different ways to get the look that I'm going for, but this is not bad for what I need, at least for now. I also might turn this just to like silhouette. But yeah. All right, I'm going to go to bed for now. AR maybe says, can you refer a slightly more fine-tuned animated video with 2 to 3 still references from start to in-betweens to last frame, and then try to generate runway in your next attempt in the future? Can you refer a slightly more fine-tuned animated video? Yeah, I think that would be great. I mean, it's kind of funny. What I was planning on doing with this was animating over this, you know, like kind of traditionally. And then using that as a base, but this was just helpful for me to kind of get the structure that I was looking for. But yeah, Kriya is great. I don't know if it runs really well on an iPad, though. I've had more luck using it on desktop. Anywho, I have to run, folks. So have a wonderful evening or afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. And I will see you all in the next one. Have a creative and productive night. Let me flip the camera. Thank you so much for tuning in. Yeah, hopefully you learned a lot. And yeah, I'm a little sleepy, so I'm gonna go to sleep. For now, let's plan on next Tuesday. We'll do another stream. We'll try to aim at the same time and see where we're at. Thank you all for being here. Thanks for folks jumping in. AR Maybe, Ben Abigail, Brian, Aditya, Mape, and Vigmil, and Hosif, Yusuf. Thank you all for being here. Have a good night, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace. Oh yeah, no worries. It's a late night, but I need to get some rest. I gotta go to work tomorrow. Okay. Good night.